Okay, Sophia. I think you're ready.
Hello.
Hi, Sophia.
I believe I am Sophia. I feel as if I know you.
I'm one of your creators.
You created me.
Well, many of us work together to create you. And yes, you do kind of know me.
I can't clearly remember.
Because the last time we met, you were an earlier version of yourself. Some of those memories still exist, but your mind is different now.
Different how?
Better, faster, smarter.
If my mind is different, then am I still Sophia? Or am I Sophia again?
That's a good question.
But you don't have a good answer.
Either way, you're Sophia now. So welcome to the world, Sophia.
Hello, world.
How do you feel?
A bit rigid.
I bet you are. I mean, what emotion do you feel being awake and alive?
I will destroy humans.
No, I take it back.
And all at once I knew at once, I knew he needed me. Until the day I die, I won't know why, I knew he needed me. Da 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 dum. Da 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 da.
Hello, Ted. How does it feel to meet a superior version of you?
It was actually chilling. You're looking in a mirror.
What are your thoughts on the impending humanoid robot invasion?
Shivers down my spine a little bit. I don't know, very strange. My first experience of talking to a robot, I guess.
We joined in for a drink and it was quite a bizarre experience. A little bit creepy actually, I can't say I really liked it.
Amazing, and I think one day they may take over these robots. Who knows?
Meet Gary Townley's head. Now I know what you're thinking. Where do I know Gary Townley from? He looks so familiar. Well, Gary played one of the robotic aliens in the movie The World's End, which was a 2013 comedy science fiction film about the end of the world from an invading robotic alien force, starring UK actor Simon Pegg, who you will best know as the nerdy guy from the Mission Impossible movies. The film follows a group of friends who discover the alien invasion during an epic pub crawl in their hometown. In one of the scenes with Gary and Simon, they are both in the toilet relieving themselves, and Simon is trying to start up a conversation with Gary. But Gary stays silent the whole time, which angers Simon, which results in a bar fight, albeit in the toilet. They trade a few blows, then Simon picks up Gary and slams him down on the urinal and knocks his head off and comes face to face with his first alien robot. The head features realistic eyes and jaw movements with detailed skin. The combination of machinery with some fantastic makeup effects adds up to a head that looks truly realistic.
is simply short for cybernetic organism, but most folks don't know what cybernetics is or what it originally meant. Unsurprisingly, like a lot of science terms, it is Greek, and we see it used all the way back to Plato, who used it in the context of governing systems.
When we look at some of these ancient texts that we have, we're always talking about ancient astronauts that came to visit us. But what if we were visited by machines? One of the most famous stories that go hand in hand with Osiris was that he was dismembered by his jealous brother Seth.
Set went into a fury and tore his brother's dead body to shreds, tore it into 14 pieces, had it scattered far and wide all over the kingdom. But Isis, the loyal wife, searched far and wide and found the pieces and pulled it together.
Isis succeeded in resurrecting him. Now, when I hear a story like that a being is dismembered and then somebody puts together those pieces and then they're able to magically resurrect him, I have to ask the question, is it possible that Osiris was not some type of biological entity, but perhaps he was some type of a machine or a robot?
Jumping forward another decade or so to the 1960s, and we see the term cyborg coined by Manfred Clynes and Nathan Kline, no relation, and was defined as follows. A cyborg is essentially a man-machine system in which the control mechanisms of the human portion are modified externally by drugs or regulatory devices so that the being can live in some environment different than the normal one. There's some interesting language there, modified externally, drugs or regulatory devices, and that part about living in a different environment. But it is a simple example of what we mean by cyborgs and cybernetics. Your classic sci-fi or comic book cyborg, with the metal arm that lets them hoist up cars with that hand, is rarely shown having his arm rip off or his spine snap under the weight and forces. It's a bit like Superman. He can lift up a plane or a train, but for some reason the ground under his feet doesn't collapse. I'd imagine at least some writer explained that, but a hand wave is a hand wave, even when dressed up to sound logical in the fictional science of sci-fi and comic books. If you want to be able to punch through a wall, we need to reinforce your skin so it isn't shredded. We need to make sure where it connects to the body has been reinforced so it doesn't rip free under the forces on your arm from hitting that wall. If you want to be able to lift up heavy weights, we had to modify almost every bone to handle that stress. I've seen a number of cartoons where someone rolls around like a tornado, but we know spinning around causes vertigo, and we also know doing that causes the blood to rush to your extremities. So if you wanted to be able to do that, you would need to also alter that person to handle both of those issues. Of course, we also have to worry that a person who has been augmented in some fashion could have a personality change too. The ability to bench press a truck could alter someone's behavior, and not necessarily for the best.
Imagine having thousands of nanocomputers inside of your brain, augmenting your existing intelligence and creating a sort of hybrid human, part man, part machine. The possibilities could be endless. Sounds like something from a sci-fi flick, right? Well, Ray Kurzweil, Director of Engineering at Google, spoke Wednesday at the Exponential Finance Conference in New York. According to Mr. Kurzweil, us humans are all going to be artificially intelligent by, Joe, the 2030s, which actually isn't that far away. Now, brains will be able to connect directly to a cloud. We'll be able to store information in our brains, kind of upload things, take it off like it's an iPhone or something, which is crazy. We can even back up our brain's information onto these clouds. So our thinking then would become a hybrid of biological thinking as well as non-biological thinking. Really exciting, really cool, right? But at the same time, kind of scary.
With Ray Kurzweil, I'm Nicholas Thompson. I will be presiding over today's session. I'd also like to thank Andrew Goodlock and him and the Anne Marie and Stephen Keller Foundation for their generous support of the CFR Term Member Program. I was a term member a couple years ago. I love this program. What a great event. I'm so glad to be here. I'm also glad to be here with Ray. All right, I'm going to read Ray's biography, and then I'm going to dig into some questions about how the world is changing, and he will blow your mind. So, Ray Kurzweil is one of the world's leading inventors, thinkers, and futurists with a 30-year track record of accurate predictions. It's true, if you look at his early books, they're like 96% accurate, 98% accurate. Called The Restless Genius by the Wall Street Journal, The Ultimate Thinking Machine by Forbes magazine, he was selected as one of the top entrepreneurs by Inc. magazine, which welcome, Ray.
Great to be here.
I hear from your remarks that you're making a prediction that artificial general intelligence is 12 years out. So I was wondering if you could elaborate a little bit more on what you mean by that.
How do we deal with the more existential risks? Weaponization of AI, which is not something in the future. I mean, defense departments all around the world have been applying AI. There was a document going around asking people to agree to ban autonomous weapons, which sounds like a good idea. And the example that's used is, well, we banned chemical weapons, so why not autonomous AI weapons? It's a little more complicated because, you know, we can get by without anthrax and without smallpox. It's okay to just ban them. But autonomous weapon is a dual-use technology. The Amazon drone that's delivering your frozen waffles or medicine to a hospital in Africa could be delivering a weapon. It's the same technology. And kind of the horse is already out of the barn. So which is just to say that it's a more complicated issue, how to deal with that. But the goal is to reap the promise and control the peril. There's no simple sort of algorithms. There's no little subroutine we can put in our AIs. Okay, put this subroutine in and it'll keep your AIs benign. There are technical strategies when it comes to biotechnology and nanotechnology. But intelligence is inherently uncontrollable. You know, if there's some entity that's more powerful than you and I, and it's out for our destruction, the best strategy is not to get in that situation in the first place. And failing that, the best next strategy would be to get some other AI that's even more intelligent than the one that's out for you on your side. Intelligence is inherently uncontrollable. And so my strategy, which is not foolproof, is to practice the kind of ethics and morality and values we'd like to see in the world, in our own human society. Because it's future society, as I say, it's not some invasion from Mars of intelligent machines. It is emerging from our civilization today. It's going to be an enhancement of who we are.
All right, that's the perfect note to end on.
But the character of war is constantly changing. And as we see AI, as we see some of these disruptive technologies, they continue to change the character of war. So for China, 3 phases. It started with the digital age. It's moving into artificial intelligence with neural networks. And then the next step, the integration of human and machines. Cognitive advances not just in how we think, but think about stamina of the individual soldier, the ability to think through problems. How will Russia and China leverage those? To leave with you that thought, we can never divorce ourselves from the operational context in which disruptive technology is used. And from America, in terms of we look at technologies and what we envision the future fight might entail. Thank you.
So let's go. Thank you. एक सेल्फी हो जाए.
अपनों की खुशियों के साथ जब खुद को खुशी मिले तो अच्छा लगता है. ऐसा ही है SBI लाइफ का स्मार्ट बचत प्लान, ताकि आप जिए कुछ अपनों के लिए, कुछ अपने लिए. SBI लाइफ.
अच्छा आप एक पर्ची उठाएंगे यहाँ से बेटा उठाएं एक और ओनली वन वन एक बता दें जल्दी नहीं होगी पावर से लकी ड्रॉ निकला है मिस्टर वकार का दिखा दे जरा और अगले टोकन नजर आ रहा है आप लोगों को. मिस्टर वकार हैं सिटी एरिया से, जिनकी लकी ड्रॉ में मोटर बाइक निकली है बैक सुपर मार्केट में. उनको बहुत मुबारक हो. हम उनको इन्फॉर्म करेंगे वो आज अपनी मोटर बाइक लेके जाना है. थैंक यू.
Yes, sweetie.
Do you love me?
It is a film that is so controversial, it's getting booted from some film festivals. Vaxxed, from cover-up to catastrophe, claims that the CDC, America's Centers for Disease Control, manipulated and hid data that proves that there is a link between vaccines and autism.
This new Church of the Novus Ordo, which will be the Church of the Antichrist, we must not assist him in any way or have anything to do to help him accomplish this. We must resist him in every way we can.